to Peter in Maryland. You're on with Jen and Claire. Hi, Peter.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure, good.
So I won't be long. I just had a couple of questions. One is, I'm trying to understand the new atheism. I understand what it traditionally means, but I understand that it means nowadays there's a lack of belief in God. Do I have that right?
That would be a paraphrase of the definition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I understand it would further have to be a person, because if we just say lack of belief, that would kind of include inanimate matter and, doorknobs and chairs.
I don't define God for people.
Oh, absolutely. But don't you think, though, that when you say it's a lack of a belief in God, you must have some minimalist concept of what that is? Or do you mean it in the sense when you say, I don't believe in stuff I don't understand? Is that kind of the perspective?
No, that's not what it means. So,
Okay.
People have an understanding of what they mean when they say some God exists. They're typically not talking about the universe or energy or some whatever you want to talk about. They're talking about some presumably sentient supernatural being. Okay, I don't think those exist.
Okay, I totally understand. So do you think then that this statement, can an atheist maintain also, if they were presented with the proposition that God does not exist, would it be compatible for them to say, I don't believe that either?
The statement that I believe God does not, the claim God does not exist is a different claim than...
Yeah, absolutely right.
Some God exists.
Gnosticism.
Absolutely. The negation of one proposition doesn't necessarily entail the affirmation of a negation of that.
Correct.
I absolutely get that.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is, if person A comes to you and they say God exists, you say, I don't believe that. Person B comes to you, maybe the traditional atheist, one who maintains the proposition that God doesn't exist, comes up to you and says God does not exist. What say you with regard to belief?
It's going to depend on the atheist you talk to.
Yeah, it depends. I can only speak for myself. As far as that, I would go so far as to say that gods don't exist. So that would, I guess, qualify me as a Gnostic atheist. Or I'm not claiming knowledge, actually. I'm just saying I don't think gods exist.
But you do think that there are reasons for God not to exist?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a strange way of putting it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then it just seems that we go back to traditional atheism when you get down to it. I understand I understand the attraction of the lack of belief in God. It makes sense. It keeps, it's non-committal. It's more of a psychological type of way of looking at it. There's no claim being made, but yet when you ask them, if a traditional atheist comes up to you and they say God does not exist, and then you say, well, okay, I believe that, then it just seems that we're smuggling in somehow the traditional atheism. I think Matt would say that I think he could say these things. I don't know. He can correct me if I'm wrong.
He certainly will.
I don't believe God exists. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think he would say this. I don't believe God exists, and I don't believe God does not exist, assuming that we mean God by the same terms. I understand the two different claims, but if we're talking about the same entity here, supernatural being, the omni-God, the God of classical theism, Jesus, or whatever, I think he would say that. I think he would say no, but he also does give reasons for why he believes what he believes.
Yeah.
And so I guess the dilemma that I'm sorry, go ahead.
We can't really speak for Matt.
Yeah, we're not talking for Matt.
Matt's on
okay, yeah, you're right. Oh, no, that's unfair. You're right. That's unfair.
So what I'm looking at here is that you've got two claims here. I don't believe that God exists. Okay, and that I think is a fair generic atheist statement. I don't believe gods exist. And then this other claim, I don't believe that God does not exist. Well, if I claim that God does not exist, if you put that out as a statement and ask me if I believe that or not, I believe that. I believe gods do not exist. And I don't see a
Okay.
hell of a lot of difference between the first statement and the second.
Well,
I mean,
one, you're not making a claim to knowledge, and the second one, you are making.
I'm still not making a
You say,
claim
"I
to
believe."
knowledge. I'm still making a claim of belief.
Okay, so okay. In this sense, if we're going to get to the nuance, knowledge is typically understood as a justified and true type of belief. It's a very specific type of belief,
Right.
right? Now, but if we're going to accuse theists of saying you believe in God, you have no reason to. It's in the same respect when you say I believe that there's no God. So is the theist then not making a claim to knowledge when they say I believe God exists?
No,
Yes.
it's about belief.
Okay, but do you think people believe things that aren't true?
I think it's possible to believe things that aren't
yeah.
true.
Oh, yeah.
I think it happens all the time.
No. I mean personally, if you go out and you say I believe something, do you go under the pretense that it's false?
Say again. What? I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to say is I don't think anybody goes around saying they believe things that aren't true. When people say they believe something, they believe it's true, right? Now, whether or not they're justified, right, is a completely different question, right? I mean, that's what gets you to knowledge, right? Justified and true belief. You could be true belief just by coincidence
Okay.
or something, by pure luck, right?
Peter, we're actually over time here, so I need you to wrap this up real
I'm
quick.
sorry. All right. I don't want to keep you guys long, but anyway, okay. Well, thanks again, though, for taking my call. I really appreciate it. And maybe I was curious. I want to hear what Matt has to say. I'll probably call him next week.
That'd be great.
Yeah, you should talk to Matt if you want to hear what Matt says. All right.
Okay.
All right. Have a great night.
Me too. Bye.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be